Farup Sommerland is one of the most notable theme parks in Denmark. Located in the woods, this park has a really pleasant atmosphere and plenty of attractions. You'll find the country's largest water park, plus 8 different roller coasters, including the new for 2022 Fonix. But is this park one of the better ones in Denmark? Find out in this review of Farup Sommerland. This park opened back in 1975. Located in North Jutland, a popular tourist destination for the Danish, Farup started small, catering mostly to kids and families with playgrounds and some smaller rides. It would take a few decades for Farup to become the park we know today. Their popular water park didn't open until 1989, and all the park's adult coasters were added after 2000. This growth occurred organically. The park still caters mostly towards families, but the ride lineup has more to offer for all ages top to bottom. This park setup is pretty unique. You don't pay at the main entrance. Rather, you purchase your tickets or present your pre-purchased ones at the parking toll booths. It's a similar setup to Idlewild if you've been there. And on that note, a lot of European parks are easily accessible by public transit, but this is one where you're likely going to need a car. Then Farup has a main entrance, but there's no turnstiles. This makes it easy for people to freely go back to their car and re-enter the park. I saw many people take advantage of this to have a picnic lunch. You can't see too much of the park from the lot, but you can see Falcon and Lena, and that's only because they were built right there. The most striking feature about this park is all the tree coverage. This park is literally located in the woods. Denmark doesn't get particularly hot in the summer, but this park feels extra cool with all the shade. Then the park is a fun exploration vibe as you move through it because you cannot see most of the rides until you're right on top of them. That even includes their tallest attraction in Fonix. This park doesn't have too much theming, but much of what they have fits in with the woodsy vibe. It gives the park a very relaxed feel. Several rides are lightly themed to trees, logging, or animals that reside in the forest. Then several rides have green paint schemes to blend in with the trees. The one thing I wish the park incorporated was music. This is a bit weird, but fine for the pathways, because the woodsy walkways have the feel of a nature trail. But I was really missing audio while waiting for the rides. Hopefully this is something the park can take a look at in the future, because I really think it would enhance the already strong atmosphere. One thing that does help in that area are the employees. These are some of the nicest and friendliest employees you'll find at any park. You know how most parks just laugh at your request when you chant one more time? Well, a few employees at Farup will actually grant that request if the train comes back to the station chanting extra tour. The operator at Falcon routinely did this all day, and I saw a few instances on the other attractions when they do the same thing if the entire train came back chanting. And amidst all the fun the employees had with guests, they still managed to be efficient. The operators load the attractions very quickly. This was particularly important for the coasters. Many of them don't have the highest capacities since they either run just one train or have super short vehicles. The hard work by the employees kept those lines moving. I visited on a summer weekend, which should have been one of their busier days, but lines were very manageable. Most rides will be near walk-ons during that first and last hour. Then the average wait for the water rides and coasters was around the 15 to 20 minute mark midday. The two worst lines all day were the brand new Fonix and Fårup, the park's spinning wild mouse. These hovered around the 30 to 35 minute mark, which isn't all that bad to be honest. There's no skip the line pass here, but that's fine for the crowds this park sees. There are 2 approaches I'd recommend to tour the park. The first prioritizes re-rides in Fonix. This is the approach I'd probably use next time. It is the park's best and most popular attraction. Because it's located in the very back of the park, you can get several laps while it still has a short wait in the first hour. This is critical because this line, unlike the other ones in the park, did not die down at the end of the day. Plus, this park will cut off lines early so the final train goes out at closing time. The second approach prioritizes getting the credits quickly. Start with Fårup, then you want to hit Line and Seun as you move back in the park. You should be able to walk on all 3 of these coasters. Then head back to Fonix. The ride likely will not be a complete walk-on at this point, but you still should be able to get a ride or 2 before the line starts to really back up. While this is a park where you can hit all the coasters in about a half day, I would recommend taking a full day so you have plenty of time for re-rides and also to enjoy the atmosphere. This is a park whose atmosphere is better when you aren't rushing through the park. Now let's talk about that ride lineup. With the addition of Fonix, the park now has 8 different roller coasters. There are a lot of family coasters here with low height restrictions, which makes this a fantastic park for a budding coaster enthusiast. Kids need to be just 90 centimeters tall to ride Pins Fina and Mine Expressin. Pins Fina is a familiar Zamperla kiddie coaster, but this one is decently smooth, and the hedgehog on the front car is adorable. Mine Expressin is an extended Vekoma roller skater. If you've ridden Flight of the Hippogriff at Universal Studios Orlando or Universal Japan, this rides an identical layout, although you may not be able to tell because of how interwoven it is with the trees. This is a comfortable ride for kids and adults to enjoy together. Riders need to be 95 centimeters tall to ride Seiyun, the Vekoma family boomerang. It really baffles me why this model hasn't made its way to the United States, because it really is a dynamic ride for its size. You don't get any airtime, but it's super smooth, and the backwards bit keeps it engaging even for older guests. Plus, I love how this ride runs alongside the midway and even includes a splash effect. To ride Orkanen, riders need to be just 105 centimeters tall. This is my favorite Vekoma suspended coaster. This layout has been cloned a dozen times, including for Dragonflyer at Dollywood and the Dragon roller coaster at Energylandia, but the original has the best setting. Orkanen is placed above the water, and it features 2 subaqueous tunnels. This rides some decent forces at points too, including that shockingly intense overbank. Falcon is Denmark's only modern wood coaster, and it's one of the few ever built by S&S. And you only need to be 110 centimeters tall to ride this wood coaster, which will help young kids ride it a year or two earlier. This ride's pretty bumpy anytime it changes directions, but the seats are thankfully well padded to minimize discomfort. That allows me to appreciate what this ride does well: sustained floater airtime. As I said in my review, it is rare to get this type of airtime on a wood coaster, and those first few camelbacks are fantastic. Flower moves in as a Reverchon spinning coaster with just a 115 centimeter height limit. This one has the usual start with a few fun laterals on the hairpin turns, and then 2 zippy drops. But this one spins pretty darn fast in that second half. I also really like this ride's placement next to the trees, and that misty tunnel by the entrance is a cool touch. The final 2 coasters have higher height limits, which makes sense because they're easily the park's 2 most intense coasters. The wilder of the 2 may be Lena. This Gerstlauer creation was Denmark's first launch coaster, and this ride's LSM launch has a lot of power to it. You really get yanked down the launch track. The first 2/3 have some sweet elements. The hills have good airtime, and the 2 inversions are full of hang time. The finale does let its foot off the gas though. While this ride does feature over-the-shoulder restraints, it doesn't have too much head banging, thankfully. See my review for more info. Lastly, Fonix was the signature coaster this park needed to attract coaster enthusiasts. This Vekoma sit-down coaster looks like Legendia's Let coaster, but it's not nearly as intense. But that's fine considering this park's family-friendly audience. Don't expect grey-out forces here. What you will get though is a fast-paced coaster with over a dozen floater airtime moments. Then there are also 3 inversions mixed in. The giant stall loop has great hang time. Then both the high-speed barrel roll and the corkscrew through the station offer wicked laterals, and all these elements are paired with a glass smooth ride, making it a super rideable coaster as I cover in a review. Farup doesn't have too many flat rides. You have a big cluster of kiddie and family rides over by Mine Expressin. The only notable flat ride for thrill seekers is Hivra Vilden. This is a Zamperla Frisbee. It's not as tall as their newer models, but it has some fun lifter airtime in the max swings and OKGs in the downswings. This park doesn't have any traditional dark rides, but there are 2 indoor attractions you may want to experience. One is an indoor 4D cinema over by the log flume. The other is Rayun's Hule, a fun house. It looks pretty cool, but unfortunately I missed it when I walked past it. I didn't realize it was an attraction. For water rides you have a few options. Trice Tamernay is a big country motioneering log flume with 3 drops. They're not overly steep, but I do like this ride's location in the woods. Farup Rafting has a similarly great setting. Unfortunately, this is one of the mildest rapids rides I've ridden. I got nothing more than a misting on this one. I guess that makes sense given this park's climate, but I expect to get wet on this type of ride regardless. If you want to get soaked, Your best bet is the included water park. You'll find a lot of your usual amenities and attractions, but I popped in solely for one slide, Van Cannon. This trapdoor slide features a steep initial plunge, followed by not one, but 2 inclined loops. It's the only one like it in the world, and it's a must if you love speed slides. Another unique attraction this park features is Heste. Kids get to ride a horse around a track. It's a much more fleshed out version of pony rides you see in America. Beyond the rides, you have all sorts of playground structures. They're scattered about the park, but the biggest section is towards the middle. There, you'll find slides, climbs, and swings galore. Kids and adults alike can enjoy these, particularly some of the zanier structures. Fårup had several food stands, but I only tried one dining location, the pizza buffet. It was pricey, but I ate so much pizza that was the only meal I needed all day. The pizza was very good. It reminded me of the brick oven taste of Bertucci's, which is a New England pizza chain. The buffet also included pasta, but to be honest, it wasn't very good, so I'd stick with the pizza. I chose to stay in Billund because of my plans the following day, but you can stay on site at Hotel Farup. This hotel opened in 2016, and it looks really nice, and it has a cool view overlooking Orkanen and Falcon. The 2 perks you get are admission bundles and a separate gate into the theme park. The hotel would be more tempting if it included some form of early admission, but I don't think that has ever been offered. As of 2022, park tickets cost roughly 275 Danish krona, or $36. I think that's a great value for all this park offers. So do I recommend Farup Sommerland? I sure do. This is a wonderful park for all ages. Kids will have a blast between the wide range of coasters available to them and all those playgrounds. Then older guests got plenty of additions over the past 2 decades, most notably with Fonix. Then I just love this park's atmosphere between the kind employees and the abundance of trees. It's such a pleasant vibe. There are a few parks I prefer in Denmark, such as Fårup Sommerland and Tivoli Gardens, but I still really like this park, and I think Farup may be a better option than those 2 for kids and families. So those are my thoughts on Fårup Sommerland. What are your thoughts on this Danish theme park? Do you like this park as well? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.